Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mary, and today's video is going to be another book haul. I should have told you that I loved you one more time. So, full disclosure, this is the second time I've had to film this particular book haul, because the first time the footage didn't really work out, so hopefully this is better. But because of that, I already had put these books away on my shelves, and so I don't remember exactly where I got all of them from, but I went to a bookstore in Springfield, Missouri that I can't remember the name of, but I will have linked down below. I also went to the Warehouse bookstore here in Taneytown, Arkansas, called Once Upon a Time Books. They have a couple different locations. I've hauled books from their Bentonville location previously, but I got books from the Taneytown one this time, which is the bigger one. And I also went to the library sale at my local library. So these books came from all of those different places. I don't remember which book came from which place. And I just remembered I actually have a book in the other room, so let me go grab it. I also should mention that all of these except for one are actually used books. So the one that I forgot to mention, there's a new bookstore here in Fayetteville. I think it's called Pearl's Books. I'll have it linked down below. It just opened up right off the square if you live in the area. But I did get one book from there when I went to their soft opening. So that's very exciting. I'm going to start with that one actually, since I'm talking about it. So the only new book that I've purchased, or book that I've purchased new, it's not really a new release or anything, is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, which is the first book in I think it's YA fantasy, but it's based in, it's like historical fantasy set in Cairo, but I believe it has like jinn and other things like that. So it follows a young girl, I think she's a teenager. If it's YA, I'm pretty sure she's a teenager, and she accidentally summons a jinn when she's trying to run a con on some people. So I don't really know very much about this except for that I think the last book came out last year and everyone was talking about it, so I've been wanting to read it since then. So I picked up the first book since they had it in stock. Then I picked up a couple of classics from that bookstore that I mentioned in Springfield, and those are Far from the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy, which I don't really know what this is about at all, but I've heard about it and it's on my list of classics to read. The inside flap says, set in the fictional Wessex countryside in the 1840s, it tells the story of the beautiful and capricious Bathsheba Everdeen. Forced to choose between three suitors, Bathsheba makes a disastrous decision which leads to both tragedy and true love. And then the other classic that I picked up was The Divine Comedy. This is a wrap-up of Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. I already own Inferno in like a single copy, but I'm probably going to get rid of it since now I have the bind up. I've been meaning to read these and reread the first one since I read it when I was a senior in high school. So I'm very excited to have this. I've been looking for Purgatorio and Paradiso every time I go to a used bookstore, basically. So very excited to have that one. Sorry if you can hear my dog drinking water in the background. He's very thirsty, apparently. A couple of things I picked up from the library sale. I got The World Without Us by Alan Weissman, which I believe is just an exploration of what the world would be like if people didn't exist. So it talks, I think, a little bit about like global warming and climate change, as well as habitat destruction that has been caused by human infrastructure and growth in the world and development. So I'm very interested to read this one. I've been meaning to read this. This again has been on my list of like nonfiction to read for a while. So I might pick that up in nonfiction November, possibly. So stay tuned. I still have to decide what my TBR for that is going to be. I also, from the library book sale, picked up some other of the Charlene Harris Sookie Stackhouse series. So this is Dead as a Doornail, and this is From Dead to Worse. I now own the first 5. I don't know which of these is the 5th one, but one of these is. And the 10th, and then I think one of these is the 8th one as well. So I've bought a lot of in that series. I haven't read any of them. It's the series that True Blood is based on. And the author is actually from Arkansas. So I wanted to do a video where I read books by authors from Arkansas. So I'm planning on trying to read a couple of these in that video. Then I don't know where I picked up the rest of these from. Again, it would have been probably Once Upon a Time books. And then some of them I also got at that bookstore in Springfield, but I can't remember which ones. But I did pick up The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang, which is the first book in the Kiss Quotient series. It's a series of romance standalones, and they each follow a main character who has ASD, or is on the autism spectrum. ASD is autism spectrum disorder, in case you did not know. But this one follows Stella, and I think Michael is the man's name. And Stella is essentially a woman on the autism spectrum who doesn't really know how to have a relationship, so she hires Michael, who is a professional escort, to teach her how to date. And so it's like a fake dating to love type of situation. Very cute. I actually did just read this in a blog, so I will post it somewhere. in case you're curious about my thoughts on that, because the third book in the series just came out and it is on my 5-star predictions for the year, so I still need to get a copy of that one as well. Then I got Inferno by Dan Brown because I want to finish the Robert Langdon series by Dan Brown. I'm also interested in watching the TV show. It's a series that Angels and Demons and The Da Vinci Code are a part of. They never made movies for the rest of them, but this is the third book, and I already had the fourth and fifth books. They're right there, actually. Oh no, right there. Those are the, I don't know. They're somewhere over there. But it's, oh no, it's The Lost Symbol is the third book. This is the fourth book, and then Origin is the last book. But I'm planning at some point on finishing that series out because I started that in high school as well, and I really liked the first ones, so I'm hoping I will still enjoy them. Then I got The Angel's Game by Carlos Ruiz Zafón, which is the sequel to The Shadow of the Wind, which again I have not read yet, but I am planning on reading that series, and I think it's historical fantasy again. I think it's historical fiction with like a fantasy element. The series I think is called The Cemetery of Lost Books, I think. But yeah, I'm really excited to read these as well. I don't think all of them have been translated into English yet, but I could be wrong about that. I also picked up The Lost Man by Jane Harper, which is a thriller. This is set in the Australian outback. I don't really know very much about it except for that I think it follows brothers, and one of the brothers winds up dead in the outback, and the other brother finds him, but he knows that his brother would never have gone there without like proper supplies because they grew up there, so they know how to live in that sort of environment, and they know how dangerous it can be. So they're trying to figure out what happened to the other brother. I think they're brothers. I don't take that as gospel, but I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. Then I picked up Lucky Us by Amy Bloom, which is a pretty short, actually, I didn't realize how short this was, but this is a historical fiction novel as well. And this follows two sisters who one of them wants to be like a movie star, I think, and the other one just sort of is along for the ride, and it's their experience in like the 1940s. So I'm really interested to read that. I really like books about sibling relationships. It's just something that I find that I usually enjoy. And then finally I picked up The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri. I don't know how her name is pronounced, but this says, meet the Ganguly family, new arrivals from Calcutta trying their best to become Americans even as they pine for home. The name they bestow on their firstborn, Gogol, portrays all the conflicts of honor and tradition in a new world. Conflicts that will haunt Gogol on his own winding path through divided loyalties, comic detours, and wrenching love affairs. I think this book was shortlisted for, oh no, won the Pulitzer Prize. So that's one of the reasons I was interested in it. The other reason I put this on my list when I read Love, Hate, and Other Filters, that YA book. I think I read it in like 2018. But that book, in that book, the main character reads this and like really likes the South Asian representation, I believe. But I've wanted to read it since I saw it in there. And that's it. Those are the books that I picked up recently. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these books. Also, don't forget to check out the links that I leave down below, because I will try to leave bookshop.org links for the bookstores that have it. Otherwise, I will just link the websites to each of the bookstores that I shopped at. Don't forget to shop local. I'm trying to be better about doing that. But yes, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I do post 2 videos every single week, and I am still trying to read 31 books in 31 days. Just a spoiler alert, I have not kept up with that very well. I think I've read 12 books at this point. So I'm not totally off track, but I am like a week behind. So we'll see if I can catch back up. But I'm going to leave you here for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! I should have told you that I love